Hello, and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen and Check Your Council Plans, what we talked about over lunch, part 2. But firstly, here's something I prepared earlier. According to the Greens and their National Nations policy, they intend to review the native title legislation to make it consistent with the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. However, I was a little bit in the dark about that one because it's well and truly happened back in 2021.
Government Business Orders of the Day. Number 1, Native Title Legislation Amendment Bill 2020, resumption of second reading debate.
Minister.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. When we last adjourned debate on this matter, I was about to take on some of the matters that have been raised by those opposite in relation to their concerns about this bill. And I'll take those through one by one. First, let me deal with the amendment that's been moved by Senator Thorpe on behalf of the Australian Greens. Now, the proposed amendment seeks to do two things. The first is to expand the scope of proposed section 47C in Schedule 3 to the bill and to omit, effectively delete, the remaining 8 schedules of it, effectively gutting it of most of its volume. The Australian government recognises the importance of engaging in good faith consultation with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples in relation to the decisions that affect them. So, consistent with the principles under the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, we have endeavoured to make sure that can be given effect.
Now, back to local government and Aboriginal Ballarat. I'm going to have a look at the Reconciliation Action Plan, the Survival Day Dawn Ceremony. I suggested that to the endorsed Greens councillor instead of having an Invasion Day rally. And yeah, look what happened. How cool am I? And we're going to have a look at the Welcome to Country and Acknowledgement of Country Guide. And both those things come from Reconciliation Australia, which is a non-for-profit that's based in Canberra. We can give Ernie Dingo credit for his skit, but these protocols have been adapted to contemporary circumstances. Your local Aboriginal Land Council or Native Title representative body can advise you on organising a Welcome to Country by a traditional owner in your area. Welcome to Country occurs at the beginning of a formal event and can take many forms. So, Welcome to Country and Acknowledgement of Country, an internal guide for the City of Ballarat councillors, staff and volunteers. The Welcome to Country and Acknowledgement of Country Guide is one way we can collectively advance reconciliation in Ballarat by embedding recognition and respect into our daily practices, our events, and our interactions. Ballarat has 2 recognised Aboriginal parties. All locations across the municipality will either be land of the Wadawurrung people or the land of the Dja people, incorporating Welcome to Country or Acknowledgement of Country into meetings, gatherings, and events shows respect by upholding Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultural protocols of the particular place and traditional lands one is speaking from. Registered Aboriginal parties are recognised in the Aboriginal Heritage Act of 2006, 6, sorry, see map on page 7. And we've got a flow chart. A welcome to country usually occurs at the beginning of a formal event and can take many forms, straight from Reconciliation Australia. Should I budget for a welcome to country? Acknowledgement of country. An acknowledgement of country can be done by anyone and is a way of showing awareness of and respect for the Aboriginal traditional owners of the land which a meeting or event is being held. Some art and some people's things they've said, and the two groups, and some more stuff if you want to look it up, and some more pictures. The last couple of pages. Now, reconciliation action plans also come from Reconciliation Australia. Both these plans and the guide are purchased from Reconciliation Australia. Now, Reconciliation Action Plan. Table of contents. Plans on page 23. So we'll just scoot through. You can pause and read if you like. Snapshot of Ballarat infographics. Maps. Some photos. Guiding strategic documents. And these I'm just starting to get into. The Innovative Reconciliation Action Plan aligns to all these other plans. Fire one's interesting. Anyway, what is reconciliation? Closing the gap. Sidestep for a minute. This is from St John of God's Reconciliation Action Plan. We're helping close the gap in Ballarat with baby weights. So when Closing the Gap started and Reconciliation Australia, Aboriginal people had Aboriginal parents according to birth, deaths, and marriages. Now, with the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, you just need to have some Aboriginal ancestors, and they can have assimilated back in 1850s. Anyway, closing the gap with Aboriginal babies. Key areas and more infographics. Action plan, relationships, respect and inclusion of traditional owners and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and cultures through all levels of our organisation to ensure cross-cultural understanding and to achieve economic, social and cultural equity. Respect. We promote respect for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and histories aligned to the Victorian Aboriginal and local government strategy. Opportunities. We take a whole of organisation approach to promote reconciliation. Aligns with the Victorian Aboriginal local government strategy also. Okay. Truth telling. We support truth telling for a greater understanding of our history and resilience and strength, of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Governance. We commit to monitoring, evaluating, and reporting our progress towards reconciliation. So, establish and maintain effective RAP working group to drive governance of the Reconciliation Action Plan, provide appropriate support for effective implementation of the Reconciliation Action Plan commitments. Terms used in this plan. Aboriginal Victorians refers to members of traditional owners corporations, registered Aboriginal parties, Aboriginal community controlled organisations, and local Aboriginal networks in Victoria. And if you have Aboriginal great grandparents, you can join one of these groups if your great grandparents are from this area or from whatever area they're from. You can join one of those organisations. Anyway, she's done painting, and that's the end. And this was something else I was banging on about. It goes for over an hour, so I'm not going to watch it, but it's just gone federal. They've signed up and bought themselves a reconciliation action plan from Reconciliation Australia. Reconciliation Australia also has a very useful YouTube channel with gems in it like this.
In terms of incorporating the acknowledgement to country, it was a really important way for us to show our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
The Wangal people of this Eora nation.
Most of our children here, this is their first education, and it was a way of making it an everyday practice. And later on, they've got an appreciation and understanding to help reduce bias. And I think it was a way of really bringing us together as a community. So each of the rooms created their own acknowledgement to country that was age appropriate so that it could become part of our day-to-day routine.
So in terms of our room, our biggest goal was getting a respectful and inclusive acknowledgement to country for the children, something that was simple enough that the children can understand, but still very respectful, and just trying to build it as part of our everyday program.
Now that's from 2017. RAPs for schools and early learning services. More than 40% of schools and early learning services across Australia have registered to develop a big word reconciliation action plan.
Let's officially kick off our first RAP meeting for 2017. We'll start off with our acknowledgement. So we acknowledge with respect the countries, the skies, the waterways and the spiritual systems of the Eora peoples. We acknowledge our Aboriginal students and their families. We do this in the spirit of reconciliation as we move to a place of justice and partnership as together we walk gently on this land.
Welcome to our whole school assembly. We would like to acknowledge that this assembly is being held on the traditional lands of the Kulin Nations and pay our respects to elders both past and future for the memories, the traditions, the culture and the hopes of all Indigenous Australians.
We always start an assembly with acknowledgement to country. At our first assembly this year, we talked about the difference between an acknowledgement to a welcome to country. So we're really trying to make it sort of part of the fabric of the school.
And donations are tax deductible. Meet the board of directors. So these are the people that everyone is bowing down and worshipping dead Aboriginal ancestors for. Yeah, I just stick my fingers in my ears and shut my eyes and hide from the ghosts. And that's enough rambling about that. Because I'm not monetized, I can't go more than 15 minutes anyway. So, yeah, till next time. See you later. Bye.